It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be with all of you today. Special gratitude to our esteemed guests who have given their hearts encouragement for this day to be. And to each and every one of you for being here. Today we are going to break the ground with this stainless steel shovel and begin a foundation. And how we develop the foundation is of the highest significance to the sustainability and quality of what we build in the future. A building that has a strong foundation can withstand storms, earthquakes, and all sorts of different challenges. The Bible tells if you build a house on shifting sands, then when the storm comes, it will collapse. If we build our house on solid rock, then no storm can disturb it. And storms will come in life in the form of temptations, fears, how other people treat us, the environment. I want to speak of our own bodies and minds. Integrity is even when there is temptation and fear, we embrace and hold true to the values that we consider sacred. Education for our children is the foundation for the future of our community, our country, and of the world. Interesting, the foundation is in the lowest part of the building. And usually it's not even seen, but it's doing everything. It's holding up whatever we build on it. And real leadership is not when we want credit, fame, or prestige for what we do. Real leadership is when our value is in service. There was a great saint in South India who lived about 1,000 years ago, and he compared a good leader to salt. Have you ever been praised by being compared to salt? But you may use this example after you hear this beautiful story. If you put too much salt in a preparation, it's unpalatable. If you put too little, it could be tasteless. So salt must be balanced. And in the same way, real leadership and education should teach us how to be balanced. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells that the path of Dharma is not for one who eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or sleeps too little, who is balanced to give proper attention to our occupation, to our health, to our family, to our society. We have many responsibilities. To be balanced in our relationships with others, not to go to extremes. That is a quality of salt. Another quality of salt, have you ever heard of anyone saying, the salt in this preparation is fantastic? We talk about the grains or the spices or the looks, but Salt does not want credit. Leadership is where we do the best we possibly could for the well-being of whoever we're serving, but we do not demand the credit for it. Our aspiration is in the service. A foundation is like that. It's underground. It's below everything else. It's in the humblest position, but it gives strength to everyone. Real leadership is not having power, but in giving strength and giving power to the right people to actually live with values. The Bhagavad Gita explains the foundational principle of truth or education. Yajyatvana punaraboham evam yashashi pandava yena bhutanya sheshani draksas yatmanyato mai. Is when we see the true equality of all living beings. When we understand who we really are. This is the beginning of knowledge in all great spiritual traditions. Who am I? In the Bible, Jesus says, what profiteth the person if they gain the whole world if they lose their eternal soul? And the Gita, in this particular verse that I cited, explains we are not these bodies or minds. We are living within these bodies and minds. The body and mind is changing. But we, the true self, the living force, is sacred. We are a part of God. We are a child of God. And when we recognize our own identity and our relationship with the one God of all beings, of all religions, then we can also appreciate how wherever there's life, there's a child of God. There's a part of God. Vidyavanaya sampane brahmani kabihastini suni chaiva swapakeja pandita samadarshana. A pandit, a learned person, is one who sees whatever one's race or sex or religion, whatever one's nationality or species, life is sacred. All life is a beloved child of the one Supreme God. Aham bija pradapita, and we are all brothers and sisters. This is enlightenment. When we recognize this within ourselves, we recognize the truth within everyone. And then we understand that our real wealth is not just how many things we accumulate, but the character and the values of how we live. Everything is sacred property. How we use our abilities, how we use our intelligence, how we use our resources, it may be our wealth, our property, our skills, is what's going to make life meaningful and fulfilling. Everyone is looking for pleasure. Things could give some pleasure to the body and mind, but things have never in the history of creation given any true fulfillment to the heart. Only to love and be loved gives that fulfillment. And the origin of that love is the soul's love for God. The Bhagavad Purana tells us when you water the root of a tree, that water naturally extends to every part of the tree. Similarly, when we learn how to love, when we awaken the propensity to love within us toward the Supreme, it naturally extends to every living being in the form of compassion. The evolution of humanity is not just the type of technology that we develop. It's how we use it. It's our character. And the basic foundational principle of good character is compassion. Compassion means to be without arrogance, to be without greed, to be without selfishness and envy, but to actually be a well-wisher of others. He used to quote a particular passage in Sanskrit, Paradukaduki. What is greatness? It's when we see another person's suffering as my own suffering and another person's happiness as my own happiness. And when husbands and wives have that value between each other and toward their children, toward their society, toward humanity, and toward all living beings, then our life and everything around us could really grow on a foundation of integrity, character, and love. That's all that really matters. Traditional education is where we teach our children the various arts and sciences of life on foundations of integrity and love and compassion. There's an analogy that Shruti Dharma asked me to speak, and I will end with this analogy. Just about a month and a half ago, I was in Northern California, and I went into a forest. It's called Muir Woods, where redwood trees and sequoia trees are growing. These are the largest and among the oldest trees on Earth. I saw a tree that, according to the science, it's 2,200 years old. And it's the largest tree on the planet. I was there with a busload of children. And I asked the children if this tree could speak English, what would this tree tell us? Because this tree was here during the Roman Empire, saw the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, was here at the time of Jesus Christ, was here before any Europeans ever had come to the United States, was here through World War I and World War II and Vietnam War and everything. What's the message? And the boys, they gave some frivolous answers. But one girl, her name was Lakshmi, she started to cry. And she spoke from her heart. And it really sounded like the tree was speaking through her. She said, "Why are you human beings so obsessed with such useless, superficial things that you fight about? Don't you see how short your life is? I've been here 2,000 years old. You're only going to be here maybe 80 years if you're lucky. And what you're fighting about, and what you're in so much anxiety about, and what you're so obsessed about, and what you're so arrogant about, is so temporary, so fleeting, so useless. Why don't you take serious what's really important in your life? How you connect with God, how you connect with each other, and how you learn how to love. That's where real happiness is, and that's what empowers us to give happiness to others. So these redwood trees, they're growing in an area where there's earthquakes. There have been over the centuries devastating earthquakes, massive snowstorms, windstorms, rainstorms. And they're on hilly ground with very loose soil. And the roots of the redwood trees don't go very deep. How do they keep growing through these challenges? There's an underground secret. Just beneath the dirt, where we're about to break ground, the redwood roots, they extend outward, reaching for the roots of other trees. And when the tree's roots meet, they intertwine, they embrace, and they make such an embrace that it's permanent. Nothing could shake it. They're united. The giant ancient trees with their huge roots are wrapped around by the tiny little new trees with their little roots, which are like little pieces of hair. They're all giving strength to each other. Every tree in the forest is directly or indirectly giving support to every tree. Unity is their strength. Human beings, with our developed intelligence, we should learn from nature. Our strength is not in what we take, but in what we give. In giving, we truly do receive. In love, in support, in compassion. Whatever may happen in this world, we continue to grow. To give our children these values as the very foundation of what they should consider truly valuable in their life is actual education. And I'm so proud and so grateful to see the Avanti school system building the educational facilities for so many thousands of young people on the foundation of these moral, spiritual principles. I congratulate you, and I thank you.